Hello coin collectors out there, welcome back to the Big D Coins channel. Hopefully everyone is having a great day as always. In today's video we are going to talk about one of my favorite topics. It is the 1942 wartime nickels. So I've got the two 1942s at the top right here. I've got the other nickels which make the complete wartime set down here at the bottom. So we have 1943. These were all 1943, made at all three mints. So we've got a Denver, we've got a Philly, and we've got a San Francisco. We'll save these coins right here for some other videos because in this one I want to focus in just on the year 1942. Now there are only two in 1942 that are the silver nickels. They did not make any Denver minted 1942 silver nickels. Why people find these interesting in 1942 is because the mintages on these are actually much lower than the subsequent years because they made the transition to producing these in October of that year. So from October to December of that year, they only made 57 million of the Philadelphia mint. Compare that to 271 million the next year, and they only made 32 million of the San Francisco mint. Compare that to 104 million the next year, 1943. So the mintages for 1942 silver nickels are going to be relatively low compared to the years around them. Now, the reason why they wanted to make these silver nickels, it was because of an act of Congress, and Congress decided that they had to do this because nickel needed to be used for the World War II effort. So nickel was a highly valued metal to make armor plating. So Congress ordered the removal of the metal from the 5-cent piece effective October 8th, 1942. So from that date on to the end of 1945, the 5-cent piece had 35% silver in them, 56% copper, and 9% manganese. Compare that to your regular metal content, which is just 75% copper, 25% nickel. So that yields that these coins right here will be worth more than face value even in very rough conditions. Now, for as an example of that, a coin that's graded at a VF20, so a very fine 20. The definition of that is the second pillar plane and complete on both sides. So the pillars right here on the back need to be complete, but nonetheless, it's worth $2 in that condition. So you can have all kinds of wear and tear, and as long as you can see that second pillar, here's an example, it will be worth $2. And it's going to be worth more than face value even if it's in super rough shape like this right here. Because it's metal content, it melts down to about $1.07. So if you've got a rather worn out coin, it can go from $1.07 up to $2. And of course, it can go a lot higher depending on the grade. A mint state 63, so that's 63 out of 70, that will be worth $12 for both of these coins. Mint state 65 will be worth $20 for the Philadelphia mint right here and $25 for the San Francisco mint. So the San Francisco mint has a little bit lower mintages and less of them have survived at a mint state 65 grade. I should mention why we see these very large mint marks on the bottom right here. So the US Mint put these mint marks on the wartime nickels in case they ever wanted to pull them out of circulation. Thankfully, they decided not to do that, but if they ever wanted to get the silver back, they would be able to identify them by these large mint marks quite easily. Now, the normal location for the mint mark is right here and right here for the non-wartime nickels, and the mint marks, of course, are much, much, much smaller than what you see with the large S and the large P. Now, most people have individually pulled them out of circulation, and I would highly recommend that as well. If you're tuning into this video because you came across these, as we were talking about earlier, just based on the metal content alone, it will be worth more than face value. Interestingly, there are a couple of error coins to discuss for the 1942 silver alloy nickel. The first is a repunch mint mark for the Philadelphia mint. So I'm going to move this aside right here and zoom in on this reverse side of the coin. So what you want to look for to identify that is there's a additional P appears to the east, and the number of this error coin is the -501. There's also a 1942 repunch mint mark with the San Francisco mint. So they had repunch mint mark errors for both of these coins. and this one is 2 additional S marks appear to the west. So this is a repunched, it's a twice repunched mint mark for the San Francisco Mint, and that is the -501 error as well, but for the 1942 S. Now that San Francisco double repunch mint mark, that'll be worth $75 at a mint state 65, and $75 for this repunch mint mark that we're talking about for the Philadelphia Mint as well. And one final error to talk about with this right here, there is the 1942 S silver alloy with the mint mark location in the wrong spot. So if you've got a S mint mark down here, but your coin is that 35% silver combination, you have hit an absolute jackpot, because that is a extremely unique coin, and there has actually only been one, I believe, that has ever been found that has that characteristic of the mint mark in the wrong location. So they were using the die from the regular strike coins, but they used the metal content from the wartime nickel. They must have just forgot to change that over when they were changing it over to the wartime nickel metal composition around October of 1942. All right, everyone, that's all the info that I've got for you today. Hopefully everyone is having a great day as always. Hopefully I was able to share some information for you on these mint marks that are very large on the reverse for the wartime nickels made in 1942. Thank you very much, everyone, and best of luck coin collecting out there. Enjoy.